So someone had a question on number 11 on day 2 homework. The algebra on this, I would never give you this rigorous of an assignment or type problem on a test, but I think it's valuable to see. Okay, so I'm going to explain it through a video to help you guys out. So right away we know when we do f of g, right, we are basically f of g of x, we are plugging g of x into f of x, right? So this basically becomes f of 2 over x, which ends up being 3 over 2 over x minus 1. When we do g of x, or g of f, that's g of f of x, which in this case ends up being g of 3 over x minus 1, right? And if we plug that in, that's 2 over 3 over x minus 1. Okay, so now what we have to do is simplify these. So if you know this part and this much, that's a good start. But how do we simplify these? Well, right away when I do this, you have to understand that when I do, if I take a number and divide it by a fraction, right? That number divided by c over d, if I write it out this way, is the same as multiplying by the reciprocal of the fraction. So I can expand this out to be 3 divided by 2 over x minus 1. But here's the thing, right? That 2 over x minus 1 is ugly. So what we're going to do is simplify this, right? By making a common denominator and making the fraction easier to work with. Right now, if I look at this, I cannot add these together because I don't have a denominator of x here. So if I were to look at this, this would be 2 over x minus, what do I have to multiply numerator and denominator by here, right, to get a denominator of x? I'm going to multiply numerator and denominator by x. So that would become x over x. And isn't that the same as 1, right? So now I can subtract the numerator and put it over my common denominator. So now this becomes 3 divided by 2 minus x over x. So in the end here though, right, that is no different than multiplying, right, by the reciprocal of this. So I'm going to flip that to this. And if you remember, when we multiply fractions, multiply the numerators, multiply the denominators, and we are done. So f of g is 3x over 2 minus x. Now the next one's actually a little easier because I'm going to write this as 2 divided by 3 over x minus 1. So now g of 3 over x minus 1 becomes 2 times, this is already written as a nice fraction, so it's 2 times x minus 1 over 3. Remember, I have to flip that. So now I can finalize this as g of f as being 2 times x minus 1 all over 3, which is 2x minus 2 over 3. And I am done. Okay, so when we look at that, the algebra is the tough part there. But again, in Math 3, you'll discuss rational expressions and make that part of the algebra easier. Okay.